Assalamu alaikum viewers, I'm Sana Khattak and today I'm here with you guys on Opportunities Corner, and I've brought for you a session about IELTS common blunders, and this session is brought to you in collaboration with Language House. Language House is your one-stop place for learning all sorts of language courses. So we'll be just waiting for the viewers. As soon as we get our viewers, so we'll be starting our session. And today's session is about IELTS blunders, as I've told you. Because it is a very expensive test, I always recommend people to prepare as much as they can. But still, there are a few mistakes, common mistakes that many IELTS test takers do. And because of these mistakes, they lose their precious marks, which is then translated into band, and they score lower bands. So I think we have enough people. Let's start with our session. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. I'll be taking your questions at the end of the session. Let's start our session without further ado. Okay, so today's session is about IELTS common blunders. A blunder means a mistake that you have done, some kind of big mistake that costs you a lot of money or time or fortune. So today we'll see that how IELTS common blunders can damage your IELTS thing. So the first thing that people do, the first mistake that IELTS test takers do is booking the test without any preparation or knowing the pattern. Most of the people are really confident about their level of English language, I mean. And what they do is that they make the mistake of thinking that it's just a small language test. And without realizing what is their current band, they just book the test, say just 1 week ahead. And they do not even bother to check what is the pattern of the test. All of a sudden, when they arrive to the center on the test date, they get flabbergasted because test just throws into their face. All their energy is exhausted and they don't know that it is a 3 hours long test, and starting and getting out of the center will take almost 5 hours. So this is the biggest mistake people do. What I recommend, what Language House recommends is IELTS fee is approximately 37,000 rupees. When I say around 37, it means that in different provinces, in Lahore, Karachi, Islamabad, Faisalabad, or Peshawar, there can be slightly different fee for the IELTS exam because of different taxation patterns of the different provinces. So it is around 37,000 rupees. Hence, it is a precious amount that you spend on this test. So it's important for you to get a very good band. So prepare for the test before booking and appearing in the test. And for that, start by evaluation. In the previous section, I told you guys that you can evaluate yourself by taking sample tests for listening and reading. And then you can evaluate yourself by the scoreboard. If you're scoring almost 30 in your listening band, that means you're on band 7 approximately. And if you're taking IELTS academic and you're scoring around 32, then it means you're on band 7. And for general, you need to be on 34 to have a band 7. And check your current band plus your target band. The difference between your current and your target band will actually tell you that how much time you need to take to prepare for your IELTS exam. So this is my first tip, that because it is an expensive test, please do not just jump into taking the test. Take your time, search the pattern, prepare yourself, see other sites as well. Language House is a very good site, IELTS with Liz, British Council, even IELTS with Ryan is also a good site. You can check all these sites and prepare for IELTS exam and then appear in the exam. So the next mistake, it even sounds silly or funny, but many people do that, and that affects your band. That is going for the test without any breakfast. Many people have this thing that when they have an exam, they have exam anxiety, and because of that, they skip the breakfast. They think that they are not hungry and they just go to take the test. Well, as I explained before, IELTS is a 3 hours long test, and reaching the center, attendance, your passport ID checkup, and then completing the test and getting out of the test center, it almost requires 5 hours, or maybe in some cases 6 hours. So you'll be going hungry for next 6 hours, and when you're hungry, your emotional state is devastated and you do not perform very good on language test or even any other test. So this is a mistake. What I recommend is that do a good breakfast, have a full night's sleep before, and take a water bottle, pen, pencil, and eraser with you. Chances are that they will take your eraser, pen, pencil from you and provide you with a new one, and they might also allow you to take your own. So it's good to have them than not have them, right? You can leave them outside. These are not very precious commodities, but it's safe to have them. And yes, keep your ID card with you, or your passport, or any document that you're using as your identity, that should be with you. If you leave it home, then they will not take your IELTS test. Also, you will not be allowed to appear in any further tests until you again appear for them. You apply for them and then appear again. So be prepared. Next, yes, this is also another mistake, that some people are really anxious that what is going to happen in the test, and in order to cover their test anxiety, they arrive 2 hours early, 2 hours, 3 hours, or sometimes people choose a test center which is away from their homes, and they leave home early so that they arrive on time. So there is no point in arriving 2 or 3 hours early at a test center, because you will be just sitting and waiting for the test. And 2 hours wait is enough to exhaust you. So I recommend going 30 minutes before the test is completely acceptable and okay. And 30 minutes wait is not that long. So yes, 30 minutes is enough. Don't go 2 hours early. Well, here comes our third problem, which people often do, is that they just get up hastily in the morning, and the first outfit that they grab in their hand, they just wear that and go to the test center. So wearing a shabby or uncomfortable clothes in the IELTS test will shake your confidence, because most of the people, when they come for the test, they actually prepare for it, and many of the people will be wearing their best clothes. Definitely, when you'll compare yourself with those people, your confidence level will be shaken. So instead of wearing something shabby or uncomfortable, wear something which is comfortable and in which you feel looking good, because when you look good, your confidence level is very good. I will be taking your comments and questions in the end, so don't worry about that. Yes, then next problem is choosing a center away from home and without earphones. Well, when you are going to appear in IELTS exam, they offer you a few centers. So choose a center while visiting the center. Before choosing the center, you should physically visit the center and confirm that the test center will provide you with the earphones. Or if you want to practice on a speaker, or if you're okay with the center that uses speakers for the listening module, then you should prepare on speakers. So, and some people say that taking a test in a specific center will give you higher band score. Well, this is also a myth. It's not possible that in any of the centers you will get any higher score, because all the tests are regulated by University of Cambridge. Either you're appearing from British Council or you're appearing from AU. All the tests are marked outside Pakistan by the regulations set by University of Cambridge. So these are all myths. Don't go after a center which is away from your home just because you think that they will give you more or a higher band. This is not just the right thing. Choose a center which is nearer to your home and comfortable for you. And if you are practicing with earphones, then make sure that your center provides that. Also, if you have some other problem, for example, if it is a friend who's blind or someone, they can also take IELTS test, but you'll have to tell the IELTS authorities beforehand. Or if you have diabetes, or if you need to take some medicine or something sweet during the test, then also you'll have to inform the test center authorities that you need those facilities. You will be provided that, but you need to tell that beforehand, which means at the registration of the test, you'll have to tell the authorities. Next blunder that people do is writing answer at the wrong place in the answer sheet. This is the worst nightmare because most of the people, they have practiced, they are dressed nicely, they complete the sleep, they go to the test, and in their mind they attempt the test in a very good way, but they're slightly nervous. And in that nervousness, what they do is that they fill the answer sheet in a wrong manner. For example, they mark the answer of question number 10 in the place of question number 11. And then all the answers go wrong. This is also one of the reasons that someone who is expecting a band 8 gets a band 4 must have done this kind of mistake. So I recommend all of you that IELTS answer sheet follows ball filling or short answers. Keep track of your question number on both the question booklet and the answer sheet. It is also wise to answer all the questions directly on the answer sheet and not on the question booklet. And keep a track of the question. Always check which question you are answering and then check that number on the answer sheet as well, because all your hard work can just go to the drain if you don't do that. Here is an image of an IELTS answer sheet, and as you can see, all the 40 answers are marked. This is an answer sheet for the listening module, the latest one, and on your right hand side you can see is the place where you can mark your ID number, which is given to you by IELTS, and your test date. You have to circle the ball, right? Test date, whichever it is, you can see it's 1 to 31, so whichever date it is, just circle that and color the circle. And yes, rest of the answer, the short answers are filled over there. As you can very well see, if you answer the question 12 in front of question 13, then the sequence will be disturbed and all the questions will be wrong because it is computerized testing, so you will not be given any concession if you have done this mistake. Well, next blunder that people do is you'll be given 10 minutes in listening module to transfer your answers to the answer sheet, but this does not happen in the reading module and also in the computer-based testing. So generally we know that when we are attempting listening test, after the test, we are given 10 minutes to transfer all the answers to the answer sheet. But this only happens in the paper-based testing system, and that also in only listening module. Many people keep on answering their questions on the question booklet even in the reading module, and they think that it's okay, it's completely fine to do so because they'll get extra 10 minutes just like they got in the listening module, and it would be completely fine. But it is not, because in the reading module, whether you are taking computer-based or you are taking paper-based, you will not be given any extra minutes. So especially in the reading module, mark your answers directly on the answer sheet and keep a track of your question number. If you're on question number 2, then mark the answer in front of question number 2. So next, in IELTS spoken, saying I cannot answer this question, I don't know the answer. Well, IELTS spoken is the easiest part of the IELTS. If you ask me, it is only a 14 minutes long interview, and usually the examiners are very cooperative, friendly, smiling, so you feel like talking to them. But sometimes people are really nervous, especially people who are introverts or who are not into making too many friends or socializing. They feel spoken module to be a little bit hard. And what they do is that if they find that the question is, they don't know much about the question, they just straightforwardly say, I cannot answer this question, or I don't know the answer to this question, or something like, sorry, can you please ask another question? So this is not right. You should never do that in an IELTS exam, because as soon as you say that, you'll find that your confidence level will go sufficiently down. and you will not be able to do the further test in a good mood. And so instead of saying that, you can request them to repeat or explain the question. If you misheard it, you'll catch the question in the second time. You can say something like, well, I'm really sorry, but I did not hear it. If I heard it correct, I think you're talking about this. Or can you please elaborate the question? I think I did not understand the meaning. And if you still don't understand after repeating and explaining the question, you can start talking about the nearest thing about which the question was asked. This is completely fine. Just don't remain silent, because coherence is slightly looser in spoken module as compared to the uh, writing module. Oh, yes. And the biggest mistake that most of the people do is no time management, especially in the reading and the writing module. Well, I'll explain you guys both. In the reading test, most of the people think that they have 1 hour to read just 3 paragraphs. So, first thing, it's not 1 hour, consider it 60 minutes. And you don't have 3 paragraphs, you have 3 passages which have multiple paragraphs. Then you also have to answer 40 MCQs. And 40 MCQs is a great deal. Imagine spending 1 minute on each MCQ or short answer. That makes 40 minutes at a side. Now you have just 20 minutes to read 3 passages. Also, the idea of spending equal time on all the passages is not very efficient, as we all know that the last paragraph is usually longer than the other two. Also, it has more questions. So spare some more minutes for the last one as compared to the other two. Now I'll talk about time management in the writing module. Well, in the writing module, you have 2 tasks, task 1 and task 2. Task 1 is either a letter or an analysis paragraph, and you are given 20 minutes. Even after the 20 minutes, if somebody does not come and take your test away from you, you can just, you can just move on to the next, because essay takes more of your time. So um, it is very important for you to move forward in the appropriate time. Next is writing a longer essay in IELTS to get better bands. Well, some people think that if they write a longer essay, then they will get more marks. This is not true. You're required to write only 250 words. And if you write more than that, then you'll need more time to recheck it. Also, writing it will demand more time, and time is a constraint in the writing module. So do not write more than 250 words, because it's not going to give you any extra bands. Well, another thing is some people try to use acronyms or contractions to save time. As you all know, that IELTS writing is completely an academic essay. Even if you are taking IELTS general, IELTS essay is always academic. So do not use acronyms or contractions. Next, choosing a computer-based test while practicing for the paper-based test. Well, some people practice with a paper hard copy, and when they're given the option of computer-based test, they just jump on to take that. I don't recommend that, because people who are not very familiar with electronics cannot score very good in the CBT, computer-based test. Although the results of computer-based test are faster, but I recommend that if you want to go for a computer-based test, then please take it beforehand and practice for the computer-based test. I think we are facing some technical difficulty right now. So yes, we have sorted it, and I think the broadcast is back. Yes, let's continue with the yes. So yes, the other myth that we have is you will get a higher band in AEO and not in British Council. That is another myth that we have. All the tests of IELTS are regulated by University of Cambridge, whether it is British Council or it is your university, it is AEO. Both the tests are regulated by University of Cambridge. So it's not possible that you'll get a higher band in British Council or in AEO because both are regulated by University of Cambridge. Examiners are same. None of the tests are checked in Pakistan. They are checked outside or in any other thing. They all fly back to University of Cambridge. So and all the examiners are trained by them. So it doesn't matter that which authority you are choosing. Test is always same. Yes, if you want more tips and tricks and there are other questions that you want to ask, then please follow Language House PK. We are available on Facebook as well, on Instagram as well. You can ask questions in the messages, and many tips are available in the form of posts. You can also comment and ask questions. But these were the most common blunders that people do while taking IELTS test. So now I'll be taking your questions. Let's see what you guys want to know about IELTS. Let's start from the beginning. Okay, so this is Basit Khan, and he's asking how can we evaluate? Well, IELTS spoken and IELTS writing need to be evaluated by a proper teacher, and Language House provides you that facility free for writing test, and for spoken you will have to book a test. So you can message on their page. For reading and for listening module, you can just solve it, and there is an evaluation score band sheet available on internet. From where you can see that how much you have scored. That sheet will translate your scores into the band. And for example, if you have scored 30 in your listening module, then it means you're on band 7. It's written on that sheet. In the previous section, we had also discussed that sheet in detail. So you can go back to that video and see. Then there is another question by Atif Hussain. So his question is, ma'am, is there any application or platform for improving the vocabulary? Well, Atif, there are many. In fact, there are dedicated courses for improving vocabulary at Language House. You can message on their page and they'll tell you. Also, I'd say that by IELTS reading, your vocabulary is also improved because all the passages are very rich in vocabulary, and that's definitely the best form of IELTS vocabulary because IELTS exam system is using that vocabulary. So while taking IELTS reading modules, you can sort out the words and make sentences and practice them. Okay, then there is another question by Facebook user. Is it better for us if you will give us practicing questions at meantime of our sessions? Well, I cannot give you practice questions in this session because you need to listen to the session. Afterwards, you can take, yes, you can request Language House. They'll send you practice materials. Also, when you apply for an IELTS test, then if you're applying it by British Council or by AEO, they'll send you practice material as well. Many free of cost practice materials also available on IELTS with Liz, and many tips and tricks free of charge are available on Language House PK. You can share from there as well. Then there is another one. This question is by Kishab Basnet. I need reading tips, please. Well, we did one session completely about reading, and reading is among those modules which you have to prepare for yourself. So for reading, I'd say practice counts more. If you want to increase your speed, you can use subtitles. But if you want to improve your listening, then subtitles is not a good idea. Also, I'll recommend that you use Oxford. Your IELTS Cambridge books are the best for reading material because they present you with the X papers. Inshallah, in next session, I'll show you that book, which is authentic by University of Cambridge. And there is another message by Uzairul Haq. Madam, is it not a blunder that I don't know the answer and I tell them a total different story, even if it is nearer to the question but not the exact answer? Well, for spoken, they never ask you questions like facts and figures. Like they will never ask you in which year Pakistan was formed or something like that. So they are asking about your opinions. And definitely we all have our opinions. So that is why I'm saying that even if you do not have formed an opinion, you can just answer by guessing. So in IELTS exam, one of my friends, even she got a question that she had to answer about an electronic device that she had. And she forgot that she was specifically to answer an electronic device. She started talking about a sofa that she had recently bought by a website. So, and that was completely fine because they were interested in the buying experience. So in IELTS spoken exam, they're looking more towards your language experience. But this is not true for IELTS writing. In IELTS writing, coherence is supposed to be very hard and fast because that is an academic essay. But in spoken, it's slightly loose. There is another question by Uzairul Haq. After elaboration, I can't get the point. What should I do? Then you can say that I think, and the next thing that comes to your mind, you can answer that. For example, if you have a question like, what do you think about the economy after the pandemic? So you can answer something like this. Well, I'm not an expert on economy, but I think it has something to do with money, if I'm right. And because many of the work things or factories are closed, I think that economy will not be very good after the pandemic. So you can answer by guessing. And even if you say that, oh, well, I think that everybody has rested and after the pandemic, everybody will work so good that the economy will suddenly boost. It doesn't matter because it's your opinion. Only the language matters. It doesn't matter your opinion is right or wrong. Just go with an opinion and explain it logically. Then there is another question, again by Uzairul Haq. What are the writing topics? Kindly tell few topics that are common. Well, there are social issues usually, and social issues of language, again, something to do with money, economy, finances, changing values, environmental issues, or university education problems. These types of issues are very common. And soon we'll be sharing many topics on Language House as well, the authentic topics which have already appeared in IELTS exam. So you can check Language House PK as well. You'll be getting many questions from there. Then again, we have Facebook user. Ma'am, please tell us some trusted free websites on which we can get full materials to prepare ourselves. As I told you, www.britishcouncil.org is one of the sites which is very authentic, and they provide you with quite some free material. And when you make your when you sign up on the website, then they provide you a specific account from which you can log in and practice material. There is a lot of free practice material available on the website IELTS with Liz. And there are many tips and tricks available on the Language House PK Facebook and Instagram pages. And they are all very authentic. Next question is by Uzairul Haq. And in writing, we should be specific to the topic, right? Yes, Uzair, you're very right. In writing, coherence matters a lot. And because it is an academic essay, so you are supposed to just write about the topic, and you cannot write something which is slightly loose around the topic. So, well, here we have completed all the comments as well, and we have discussed today all the blunders. And now my recommendation is just that if you want more tips, tricks, or something, you can message us about that on Language House page, whether Instagram or Facebook. And you can also come back to the videos. There are 3 other videos before this session about IELTS vocabulary and different things about IELTS. So you can also check those as well. So that will give you a lot of idea about that. And you can also go to Language House page, where there are other videos about preparation of IELTS. So you'll get sufficient information from there as well. Inshallah, we'll be back tomorrow or day after tomorrow, and we'll discuss some more facts about IELTS.